Hi guys, I am Divyang from IGCSE on Fingertips. Today we are going to solve Chemistry Paper 4.1 of ON 2022. Let's get started. This is a 80 mark paper. It contains structured questions and we are going to answer them. The names of elements of period 2 of periodic table are shown: lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon. Answer the following questions about these elements. Each element may be used once, more than once or not at all. Identify the element which is a product of photosynthesis. Oxygen is a product of photosynthesis, right? Water is also a product of photosynthesis, but it is not an element. B has an oxide found in clean dry air. Carbon dioxide, because carbon dioxide is not a pollutant, it is a greenhouse gas. Okay, then we have question C forms a basic oxide with formula X2O. So lithium because oxygen has 2 minus valency. So here lithium. Also please take care, the question is asking you to name these elements. So name them, don't identify. Okay, so don't just write their formula. D, it is a main component of fertilizer used to improve crop growth. It is nitrogen, right? In period 2 we find nitrogen. Has the highest rate of diffusion at room temperature. If it has highest rate of diffusion, it must be a gas, should be the lightest gas. Now if you look here, you will find nitrogen has a mass of 14, right? N2. Oxygen has a mass of 16. Just a second guys, this is a mistake. Nitrogen N2 has a mass of 28, oxygen O2 has a mass of 32, fluorine has 38. Neon has an atomic number of 10, so mass of 20, and therefore neon should be the one diffusing fastest, right? So we have neon. Then we have produces a red flame in flame test. Lithium, right? This is a flame test of lithium. Then we have has only 5 electrons in each of its atom, so it should be the third one. The third one is boron in our periodic table. You can refer to periodic table or the question it says. For this, has an oxide responsible for acid rain. Nitrogen, oxides of nitrogen cause acid rain. Okay, so nitrogen is your answer here. Then we have question number 2. Potassium is a group 1 element. Name and describe the bonding in potassium. Potassium has metallic bonding. Let's describe the metallic bonding. What happens in metallic bonding? The electrons are delocalized and there are metal cations, right? If metal loses electrons, it becomes cation. So metal cations, there is a strong force of attraction. There is a strong force of attraction between cation and electrons, right? That is why metals are solid, because of this strong attraction. Then potassium combines with sulfur to form an ionic compound. Potassium sulfide K2S give two physical properties of ionic compound. Ionic compounds are soluble in water, right? And ionic compounds are solid at room temperature, or you can say high melting point and boiling point, right? Because of strong ionic forces, or high melting point and boiling point. So I gave you 3 points you could right? Then we have complete the dot and cross diagram to show electron arrangement and the charges of the ions in potassium sulfide. Now potassium has 4 shells, it loses 2 electrons from the 4th shell, so we will draw the 3rd shell and 8 electrons in the 3rd shell, right? Okay. Now because potassium loses just 1 electron because it has lost 1 electron. It has 1 proton more than electron and therefore plus 1 charge. The same thing happens with this one as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 and therefore plus 1. Sulfur gains 1 electron from each, has 6 electrons of its own just like oxygen, but in 3rd shell 2 electrons of potassium and therefore has a charge of -2. It has 2 more electrons compared to protons, right? Then when potassium is added to water, it reacts vigorously and a colored flame is seen. The equation for the reaction is shown. 2K plus H2O gives 2KOH plus H2O. State the color of the flame. See, lilac, right? Potassium has lilac flame. This is a flame test for potassium. The solution formed is potassium hydroxide, a strong alkali. State the formula of the ion responsible for alkalinity in a solution. OH minus ion is responsible for alkalinity in a solution. State the color of litmus in a strong alkali. It is blue, right? In strong alkali, the color of litmus is blue. Then we have calculate the volume. Just a second. This is a mole question. We might need some space. Okay. So calculate the volume in centimeter cube of hydrogen gas from 2.34 gram of potassium is added to excess water at room temperature and pressure. Use the following steps. So what do we have? We have K plus H2O gives KOH plus H2. To balance this reaction, I think we had added 2 here and 2 here. So 2K, yes. Hydrogen 4, yes. Oxygen 2, yes. This is balanced reaction. Calculate the number of moles of potassium added. Now they are saying 2.34 gram of potassium is added, right? So to find the number of moles of potassium, I need to divide this by the relative mass of potassium is 39. So I divide 2.34 by 39 to get the, so 0.06 moles of potassium has reacted. Determine the number of moles of hydrogen gas formed. Half of that hydrogen gas forms. So I'll just divide it by 2. So 0.06 divided by 2 is 0.03. Calculate the volume of hydrogen gas. So 0.03, right, into 24. So let's see. So 0.03 into 24. This is 0.72. Okay, dm cube. Therefore, I will multiply it with 1000 to find out the answer in cm cube, which will be 720 centimeter cube. You could look up periodic table, right, to find the relative masses. Aqueous potassium hydroxide reacts with dilute acid to produce aqueous potassium chloride, which is a salt. Name the dilute acid used. Because they want a chloride, they have to compulsory use hydrogen chloride or hydrochloric acid. Right? Both of these things are correct. State the type of reaction taking place. Hydroxide and acid. It is a neutralization reaction. It is a neutralization reaction. Then what do we have next? Name the experimental technique used when salts are made by reacting acid with aqueous alkali. We use titration, right? To find out the exact point of neutralization, we use a indicator. When aqueous silver nitrate is added to aqueous potassium chloride, a precipitate is formed. All nitrates are soluble, all salts of potassium are soluble. So the precipitate is silver nitrate. State the color of precipitate. Silver nitrate is a white precipitate, right? Sorry, silver chloride is a white precipitate. Name the precipitate form. Write the name, not the formula. Silver chloride. Then write the ionic equation for reaction. Include the state symbols. So because NO3 has -1 charge, I will assume Ag has plus charge, Cl has minus charge, and therefore AgCl. AgCl itself is solid, but these are aqueous. The ions are aqueous, and this is your equation and the answer. Then next, what do we have? Question number 3. Ammonia is made in an industrial process starting with nitrogen. The equation for the reaction is shown. Name the industrial process used to make ammonia. Haber process. Then what do we have? State raw materials from which nitrogen is obtained. Air. Fractional distillation of liquid air results in nitrogen. State what is meant by symbol. Double arrows. Reversible reaction. Sorry, not equilibrium. Reversible reaction. Then we have state, just a second. Okay, state the temperature and pressure used in this industrial process. We use 450 degrees Celsius temperature and we use 200 atmospheres of pressure. Name the catalyst used in this industrial process. Iron. Again, do not write the formula, write the name. Iron is used in this industrial process. Then we have the forward reaction is exothermic. State the effect, if any, on the position of equilibrium, and following changes are made. Explain your answers. Temperature is reduced. If the forward reaction is exothermic and temperature is reduced, equilibrium, state position of equilibrium. So equilibrium shifts to right, as forward is exothermic. Forward reaction is exothermic. Pressure is reduced. Now let me just write the reaction here. N2 plus 3H2 reversibly gives you 2NH3. Now if you reduce the pressure, the equilibrium shift towards left, right? Because there are more number of moles on left hand side. So equilibrium shifts to left as there are less moles, sorry, not less, more moles of gas on left hand side. On left side, you could write left side of the reaction. Then next question we have, explain in terms of particles what happens to the rate of reaction when temperature is reduced. Less particles with enough energy to react, right? Okay, before that let's write particles vibrate less vigorously and some particles have energy less than activation energy or less than energy required to react. Hence, less number of collisions and less number of successful collisions. Hence, less rate of reaction. Right? This is your conclusion, that the rate of reaction is lesser. That is your answer. If the formula of compound formed when sulfuric acid reacts with ammonia, so NH3 reacts with H2SO4. Now ammonium ion forms in solution, right? Ammonium ion acts as a metal ion, so it forms ammonium sulfate, NH4 twice SO4, right? But because it forms ammonium, the hydrogen is not escaping, right? A metal acid reaction does not take place in this case. Then next question we have, a student prepares calcium carbonate by adding calcium nitrate by adding calcium carbonate to dilute nitric acid. Write the chemical equation for this reaction. So calcium nitrate, right, by adding calcium carbonate to dilute nitric acid, HNO3. When you do this, carbonate acid reaction takes place, gives you CaNO3 twice, but because it is carbonate, produces carbon dioxide and water. Let's try and balance this reaction. You have NO3 twice, H2, so simply add a 2 here. Check again, you have CO2, 1 oxygen. Yes, this is a balanced reaction. Describe two observations during this reaction. This is a solid, correct? So solid dissolves. And what else is happening? Carbon dioxide is a gas. So I will also observe bubbling, right? You could write effervescence, you could write gas is produced. All of those answers are correct. Then we have the student continues to add calcium carbonate until it is in excess. Student then removes the excess calcium carbonate by filtration and collects the aqueous calcium nitrate. State the general term given to solution collected from filtration. So if it's solution collected from filtration, it is known as filtrate, right? If it was the removed part, it is known as residue. The student gently heats the aqueous calcium nitrate until the solution is saturated. Suggest what is meant by the term saturated solution. When no more solute can be added at that given temperature, right? At that given temperature, then this solution is known as saturated solution. Describe how crystals are produced from a hot saturated solution by cooling it. If you cool a saturated solution, because at given temperature so much has dissolved, if you decrease the temperature, that capacity to solve or the solubility decreases. So by cooling the solution, right? They've just heated the solution to make it saturated. By cooling the solution, you can make it super saturated, so to say, and when a solution becomes super saturated, crystals start forming. Then calcium nitrate crystals are hydrated and have a formula of CaNO3 twice dot XH2O, where X is a whole number of molecules of water. Student heats the crystals to remove the molecules of water. CaNO3 twice dot XH2O gives CaNO3 twice plus dot XH2. Okay, state the term used to describe calcium nitrate after molecules of water have been removed. It is known as anhydrous calcium nitrate, right? Okay, the student heats a sample. Just a second, it involves calculation. Okay, keep trying, no problem. Yes. The student heats a sample of calcium nitrate .xH2O and forms 2.46 gram of calcium nitrate in 0.0600 moles of water. Determine the value of X. Use the following steps. So again, it's a moles question. Calculate the MR. MR of calcium is 40. MR of nitrogen is 14. MR of oxygen, right? AR of nitrogen is 14. O3, 16 threes are 48, right? All of this multiplied by 2 because NO3 twice. Let's find out what it is. 14 plus 48 gives you 62 into 2 gives you 124 plus 40 gives you 164. So the MR is 164 gram. Include units here because they have not. Determine the moles of CaNO3 formed. So I have 2.46 divided by 164. So 2.46 divided by 164 gives me 0.015 moles, right? But moles is formed, so you don't need to write units here. Then determine the value of X. Water, how much water was there? Water was 0.0600 moles, and we have found out that calcium nitrate is 0.015 mole. What is the ratio here? So 0.06 divided by 0.015, which is 4. So the ratio between calcium nitrate ion and water ion is 1:4. So the value, when 1 mole of calcium nitrate is taken, you will have 4 moles of water. So the value of X is 4. Nitrates decompose on heating. Write the chemical equation for the reaction when solid sodium nitrate is heated. So sodium and potassium nitrate decompose a little different from other nitrates, right? So sodium and potassium nitrate form nitrites and give out oxygen. All other nitrates form oxygen. They also form nitrogen dioxide and the oxide of the particular nitrate, right? So this is your answer. You can include state symbols here because it is of 2 marks. Ethene is an alkene which reacts with bromine as shown in the equation. Write the general formula of alkenes. So general formula of alkenes I know is CnH2n, right? Describe the color change seen when ethene is bubbled through aqueous bromine. Bromine has orange color, right? I was going to write bromine. It has orange color, and this orange color changes to colorless because the bromine gets used up, right? So colorless, it goes from orange to colorless. In this reaction, only one product is formed from 2 reactants. Name the type of this organic reaction. Addition reaction. These type of organic reactions are known as addition reaction. Then we have part of the energy profile diagram for this reaction is shown. Okay, there is more information here. Okay, part is shown anymore? No. Okay, correct. Let's see. The reaction is exothermic. Complete the energy profile diagram for this reaction. Okay, so if it is exothermic, it should be C2H4Br here, right? That is the first information we have. An arrow to show the activation energy. So let's draw energy diagram. The arrow to show activation energy must be upwards and reach here. So it should be A. A is activation energy, and energy to show the change of the reaction. So I will draw it till here, right? And write delta E, the change of energy during this reaction. Anything else is required? No. And that's your answer. Then we have the chemical equation for the reaction can be represented as C double bond C, there are a lot of H, bromine, and okay. Bond energies are given. Use the bond energies in the table to calculate the energy change in this reaction. Use the following steps. Now what happens? You require energy when bonds are broken. So calculate the energy needed to break bonds. What bonds are broken? Bromine, bromine, and carbon double bond, carbon. So how much energy is required? Let's see. So carbon double bond carbon, 610 kilojoules per mole for that. Bromine, bromine, so 190 kilojoules per mole for that. So you have 61 plus 19 is, I'm sorry, so you have 70 and 10, 80, right? So 800 kilojoules of energy is required to break these two bonds. Now let's see what are the bonds being made. Okay, calculate the energy released in making bonds. So what are the bonds being made? This bond is made again, right? Both bonds are broken, one bond is made. This bromine and this bromine bonds are made. So total 3 bonds are made. Let's find out what is the energy of these 3 bonds. So the energy in this 3 bond is carbon and bromine bond is made. So 290 plus 350 plus 290, because carbon bromine bonds are 3 in number. So let's copy that information here. So you have 350, which is carbon bond carbon, plus CBr, which is 290 into 2. So 300 into 2 is 600, minus 20 is 580, 580 plus 350 will give me 930 joules. Okay, so this will give me 930 kilojoules of energy that is released when bonds are made. Determine the energy change. The energy change is nothing but 800 minus 930. It gives me 130 negative kilojoule per mole. Let me just once go through the question again. If there is any molar ratio that we are missing, are there any broken or unbroken bonds we've missed? No, we've not missed anything, and 130 is your answer. Then we have question number 6. Ester Y has the structure shown. Name the ester. So the alcohol group is methyl group, the acid group is methyl group. So easy naming, methyl methanoate. Now if you have any doubts in organic chemistry, if you want to know how did I name this, you can click the I button, find out where and how to use this. We have a special video for revision of organic chemistry for IGCSE. Deduce the empirical formula of ester Y. For that, let's first write the molecular formula. So you have C2H, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and O2. Now the thing is, in any, just for ester Y, okay, so this can be written as CH2O, CH2O. Okay, I was going to say that if it was asking an empirical formula for ester, then O is always 2 in ester, so we cannot